Your ego is lying to you every single training session. It tells you to lift more than you are ready for, to avoid exercises that expose your weaknesses, to train for how you look rather than how you perform, to quit before failure, because failure feels like humiliation. Epictetus, a man who had zero ego because he had nothing left to protect, identified the ego as the single greatest obstacle between any human being and their genuine potential. Today we break it down in 5 minutes. Epictetus wrote the sentence that destroys ego at its root. He said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The ego believes it already knows. It has decided your current capacity is the correct one, that your current method is the right one, that the feedback pointing at your weakness is wrong. And in that decision, the ego has closed the door on every improvement that requires admitting current limitation. The athlete whose ego is running their training cannot receive coaching, cannot acknowledge weakness, cannot attempt something they might fail at, because failure is the ego's greatest fear. Epictetus had no ego. He was a slave. There was nothing left to protect. And from that position of complete ego dissolution, he became one of the most learned, most developed, most philosophically excellent human beings who ever lived. He learned everything because he thought he already knew nothing. For the Stoic athlete, the ego check is simple and daily. Before every session, ask one question. What am I avoiding in my training right now because my ego does not want to expose that weakness? Name it. Then train directly into it. Epictetus wrote, "Never say about anything that I have lost it, only that I have returned it." He was teaching non-attachment, the release of investment in outcomes outside your control, including the approval of others. The ego-driven athlete trains for external approval, for how their body looks to others, for the weights other people see them lifting, for the validation that comes from performing publicly what they cannot sustain privately. This motivation has one devastating flaw. It makes your training dependent on an audience. When the audience is present, you perform. When the audience is absent, the training quality collapses because the ego had no genuine investment in the training itself, only in how the training appeared. Epictetus trained his mind completely in private. His philosophical development had zero audience. He worked with complete dedication because the work itself was the point, not how it appeared to anyone watching. For the Stoic athlete, ego-free training has one specific test. Train exactly the same way when nobody is watching as when everyone is watching. Same effort, same focus, same standard, same commitment. If those two training sessions are different, your ego is running your training, and it is running it toward appearance rather than excellence. The private session is the real one. Train accordingly. Epictetus gave his students the most direct ego dissolution instruction ever recorded. He said, "If you want to make progress, Be content to appear foolish and stupid with regard to external things. Appear foolish, appear stupid. Be content with it. This is the Stoic ego release practice. And it is the most practically difficult thing Epictetus ever asked of his students, because the ego's primary function is to prevent exactly this: to keep you appearing competent, capable, and in control at all costs, even at the cost of your development. For the Stoic athlete, the ego release practice means 3 specific commitments. First, train with people who are better than you. Regularly, deliberately. Allow yourself to be the weakest person in the room. The ego hates this. Your training loves it. Second, ask for coaching on your weakest movements. Expose your technical limitations to someone who can see them clearly. The ego wants to hide weakness. Excellence requires exposing it. Third, attempt weights you might fail. In the presence of others, if necessary, let the attempt be seen. Let the failure be witnessed, if it comes, and discover that the actual experience of being seen failing is dramatically less devastating than your ego convinced you it would be. Epictetus appeared foolish his entire life. A slave teaching philosophy to Roman citizens who considered his social position contemptible, and he became the most philosophically excellent person in the room every single time. Appear foolish. Grow completely. Epictetus described the ego-free practitioner with words that perfectly describe the ideal Stoic athlete. He said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are." The ego-free athlete is not attached to a specific outcome from their training. They are attached to the quality of their effort and the honesty of their process. They train the movement that needs training, not the movement that makes them look strongest. They use the weight that serves their development, not the weight that impresses the person next to them. They accept the feedback that improves their technique, not just the feedback that confirms what they already believe. They attempt the goal that genuinely challenges them, not the goal that is safely within their current capacity. This is the athlete that Epictetus spent his entire philosophical life trying to produce. Not the strongest, not the most impressive, the most genuinely developed, the most honestly excellent, the most completely committed to what is actually true about their training rather than what serves their ego's need to appear a certain way. That athlete is built not by adding motivation or intensity or volume, but by removing ego, one honest training session at a time. Epictetus had no ego. He had nothing left to protect, and he became one of the most genuinely excellent human beings in human history. Here are his 4 principles for ego-free training. 1. Ego closes learning. Ask daily what weakness you are avoiding, then train directly into it. 2. Ego trains for approval, not excellence. Train identically in private and public. The private session is the real one. 3. Appear foolish to grow completely. Train with better athletes. Ask for coaching. Attempt what you might fail at. Be seen doing it. 4. Release attachment to outcome. Train the movement that needs training. Use the weight that serves development. Accept the feedback that is true. Your ego is the only thing standing between you and your best training. Roam it. This is Stoic athlete. Train your body. Master your mind. Kill your ego. Costry for a new video every week. Epictetus is waiting.